Hello, everyone, and welcome to Timing is Everything. First of all, you're probably wondering what timing is. Timing is the precise moment a player needs to press a button or input commands to execute a move effectively, including attacking, defending, or performing special moves. Essentially, dictating the rhythm and flow of a match by carefully coordinating actions with the opponent's movement and the game's data. So, when you choose to hold block, poke, throw out a counter hit option, these are all timing related, and it's not just a random factor, even though this game does have randomness to it. So keep that in mind. Better timing than the opponent means you will hit the opponent more than they hit you. Pokes, with counter hits, etc. On the surface level, you may think it's just luck. Like, oh, my jab just beat his jab. Random. I did a random one. I did a random mid. I did a random throw. I did a random whatever. But this game, the higher level you go and the more you think about it, it's not just random or luck. It's much deeper than that. Moves that are fast, fast lows, I-15 to I-20-ish. Those are good to poke with. 20 getting closer to reactable, but still is not reactable. Jabs being I-10, down forward ones being I-13 to like I-14, I-15. Frames on block aside, hitting these moves is timing. We're talking about hitting these moves in general. Hitting any move you use, and every move you use should have a reason to throw out of trying to hit the opponent. Hitting these moves are very important because if you control the pace of the fight, the opponent will be on the back foot simply by just hitting these moves. Their HP is going down, and you're getting frames off this. You're getting data, you're getting timing, or you're getting their timing down. But this is not a video about using your frames. And if you are getting hit by a lot of counter hits and pokes, and you're most likely looking for an answer on how do I get better. And the simple answer I have is you just have to play the game more. The feeling of poking, the feeling of small Tekken comes natural to you. It's not okay. You should throw a 4-4 here, or you should block for counter hits. The game is too fast paced to think too slow like this. You have to think about so many different things in this game. Because if you're only focused on one thing, and they do this one other thing, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna expect this now, and then they throw out another thing, then your brain's gonna be too slow to respond to everything that your opponent introduces when you're only expecting one thing. So just play the game, play your matchups, play quick match or a ranked match. Just play as many games as possible to get a natural rhythm slash timing, which Tekken's more like a rhythm game thinking about it. It may seem impossible at first. It may seem you're getting nowhere. You may just seem, oh, I'm just pressing random buttons and hitting them. But once you really think about it, once you experience why your moves are hitting and not just doing your moves, then you're hopefully gonna understand. Okay, I have a poke timing now, and it's not just gonna be like, oh, I have poke timing now. It's just gonna be like, I'm just hitting my jabs more. I'm using my frame advantage more. I'm winning fights. Anyway, small Tekken. This is small Tekken. Small Tekken is about building small advantages in the game with less committal moves. It's about things like using your jab to generate a +1 frame advantage on block, and then following with another jab or mid poke or low poke based on your solution to read the opponent, which uses mental frames for lows and mids, obviously, because that's not true frame traps. But like I said, it's not a video about frame traps. This is a video about actually landing these advantages. But these are just about landing pokes in general. Because if you just throw out random jabs, you could be at high crest. You could just get ducked. So when you hear someone mention small Tekken, it's just all about smaller pokes, small advantages, not counter hit launchers. It's more of a tendencies and poking and just using it small advantages like +1 or -1, including sidestepping and everything. But it's not the rabbit hole. It's about timing. You do need a read on the opponent's timing if they are gonna mash, but this is about timing that they're not gonna mash, and you need more of a mental frame advantage. However, if your opponent does mash after your plus frames, and frame trap them. However, if they do not mash and you don't want to lose your advantage immediately by doing a frame trap, this is going to help you. Because in the higher levels, yes, they do use frame traps. However, more often they use mental frames, which is more timing based instead of a set outcome if they mash, aka frame trap. Even though they do use frame traps a lot to really read the opponent when they are going to mash. But just, you have to be in your opponent's head. You can't really teach that. You just have to have a read and read the opponent and actually do what the opponent's gonna do. You can't think about it and second guess yourself and then regret that you didn't do that option. You have to go with your guns and commit. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. This game is so fast paced. You have to take every advantage and every situation. You have to play it as best as you can. When I said you can't teach small Tekken and timing, it's the equivalent of telling someone, okay, you should jab here. Because first of all, you have delay, depending on if you're on a Discord call, or even in person. If you say jab here, they have to process you said jab, then they have to actually input jab, and then the game has to process a jab, which then this jab is coming out very slow compared to when you said it. Because frames happen so fast, as you probably seen in practice too, the numbers are going up so fast. So many frames have passed already, so this jab is not coming out how fast you think it is. Putting your opponent in different situations on how you play it will have them on the back foot of things, especially if you've labbed your situations out, as in putting your opponent in the same situation. For example, you do jab, jab, low. Okay, they'll see jab, they'll see another jab, and then they'll low parry. And if you don't mix them, if it's on the same timing, they'll probably just hard commit to a duck or hop kick. So even a small delay or a faster low. So let's say you do jab, jab, delayed low, jab, jab, immediate low, jab, jab, dash up, low. It's very different on how you use small advantages, as I was talking about. It's just an example right there. However, put your opponent in different situations. You do not want to put them in the same situation so they can try to outplay it next time. Because unfamiliarity, meaning your brain is not responding to the situation. However, if you put the opponent in the situation multiple times and you play it the same way, their brain is going to react and actually do something next time, most likely at a higher level. So putting them in different situations is obviously going to open your opponent up to different possibilities, which ends up mixing them with mental frames. That's how mental frames and mix-ups work. Obviously, you have a read on when they're going to mash, so you get frame check. You obviously have a read when to use your mental frames and mix them up. You have a read to go low here because they're not going to do a hop kick or a low parry here. And lastly, randomness factor, as in random timing moves. For example, random hop kicks, even at the highest level. Pros try random hop kicks. Pros do rage arts in the neutral. These are very random timings / hard callouts that your opponent will do something, which they're high risk. Hop kick is a lowish risk. Rage art is a very high risk but high reward. But having a timing read, especially, it is random, but also having a read that they might try to do something, like you've been just holding back this entire time and they try to dash in and do something and then hop kick, which in response time, for example, you don't want to do multiple hop kicks in a row because that's going to make them block more. But if you're more reserved for hop kicks, you have more of a read with your hop kicks, then you'll most likely land. For example, your opponent has never hop kicked in the neutral, you go for a low, and then you immediately get hop kicked, getting low crushed. And you are wondering, wow, that's so random. Why did that work? I should have blocked. Which maybe you should have blocked, or maybe this person had a read on you and actually try to capitalize it, which they didn't react to the low. Most of these lows are unreactable. A lot of lows are unreactable, and even then, hop kicking before the low actually connects with you is pretty hard. So they just had a timing read that you're going to go for a low, because jabs can float this, down forward ones can float this, unless you're Yoshi, which his hop kick crushes jabs and highs. And if you guys enjoyed this jab session, like and subscribe if you made it this far. I appreciate you guys. See you guys next time.